Hi, this is Carlos Cousins, and we're now going to be approaching a problem that will rely heavily on our ability to visualize. For this sort of problem, you're given a geometric figure that is usually very convoluted and difficult to look at unless we redraw parts of it ourselves outside the given diagram. So that's what we're going to be doing this time. The only information we're given is that these points here, L, M, and P, are midpoints of the edges of the base of the square. And from that information, we should be able to figure out which of these angles has the greatest measure. So let's go ahead and picture what each of these angles might look like. For the first one, we know that this angle would be the easiest to visualize from taking away that face of the cube there. And let's go ahead and draw this square here. And then drawing a line to the midpoint of the baseline here. And this is the angle that we're looking at. It's a rather tall angle compared to many of the other ones, as we're going to see. So this is the first. This is JLK. Then we're going to go ahead and look at JMK. So that's the angle formed by here, J, M, and K. And here we're going across part of the cube, but not all the way across, so that this angle here would be a little bit larger than if we went all the way across, just as if you drew a line here from this side of the square all the way across to that side of the square, this angle would be just a little bit smaller than this angle. Especially since the distance between KM is going to be slightly shorter than the distance between KN. So here what we're going to have for JMK is a triangle that looks like this. And for JNK, we're going to have one that's slightly longer and more acute there. So this one's a little bit larger than that one. So let's go ahead and cross out JMK since we already know that JMK is larger. I'm going to compare the rest of them in a bit. For JPK, we've got this measurement here, which, since this is also a half point between one of the equal legs of this square, of the base square, it should be the same size as JMK. So because JPK is going to be equivalent to JMK, neither of these can be the greatest measure. And because this here is a little bit taller, since this is not as drawn out, for example, as JMK or JPK, definitely not as drawn out as JNK, we know that JLK is going to have a greater measurement. So we're going to keep this one there for now. And then we're only comparing JLK and JQK. So for JQK, we can go ahead and draw what that triangle would look like by drawing this face of the cube separately. So let's go ahead and draw that face of the cube separately right over here. And I'm going to label this Q here. This is going to be J here, and this is going to be K here. And we're just going across the square. But then something you realize very quickly is that this is simply the same as this triangle that we've been comparing JLK to all along, just inverted. And if we were to have JLK inverted here, we would have it here, and it would be a greater angle. So it looks like pretty decisively JLK has to be the angle of the greatest measure. And we've already canceled out all of the other options. I hope that this helped with this problem, and for this problem for this type of problem in particular, it will really help to draw out your own diagrams next to the diagram that's given, so that you can visualize it a little bit better. Good luck with all of your study, and happy prepping.